St Johnstone, and it's full live commentary from Pittodrie, where two sides looking to make it 2 wins out of 2 go head to head. Live here on Sportsound at BBC Radio Scotland, it's Aberdeen against St Mirren with Willie Miller and Paul Mitchell.
Thank you, Richard. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Pittodrie. There is a real buzz around this place, and St Mirren and Aberdeen are on the field, just going through the handshakes at the moment. St Mirren have broken off to the left-hand side, as of Aberdeen, who are saying to St Mirren, you guys get in the other half, which is quite a nice welcome for the St Mirren players. Some of the Aberdeen players have now broken to the right. Slight confusion, but we'll see what happens as we get underway here. Aberdeen, one change from the side that beats St Johnstone. Bojan Majowski, as we've talked about, is on the bench, and there's a chance for Ester Sokler. 4 goals already this term in 5 appearances. He will start with Papagay just playing in behind him in the 10 position. And for St Mirren, 5 changes from the side. They got that last minute equaliser at home against Brann. Taylor, Ayunga, Smith, Mandron and Brown all out the side. Tanser, Jakovic, Scott, Alessandra and Adrian all coming into the side. Aberdeen all in red. St Mirren, I'm delighted to say, are all in sky blue in their away kit this afternoon. Makes the numbers much easier to read, because the home kit this season, red numbers on the black and white, can be a tad awkward from time to time. Graham Shinney pops the ball into the centre circle, and the two teams, having argued about which ends they were going to face, now have to swap anyway, and that's what they're going to do. So Dimitar Mitov has to go back behind his goal, pick up his spare gloves and wander his way all the way down to our right hand side. Hilary Balacom, the man who's on loan from Brentford, it's his 8th loan. The 2 goalkeepers, interestingly, normally Willie, goalkeepers would have a little handshake to each other. They just ignored each other and ran past each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of uncertainty in where the players were going to warm up, and then when the coin was tossed, then they had to change round anyway. But Paul, it's a magnificent atmosphere in here. I mean, the Pittodrie is packed. I'm looking across to the south stand. It's just about full. The red shed is well on to being full as well. Main stand and RDS. So the Aberdeen fans have bought into this hope that Jimmy Tillene is going to bring success, that's for sure.
Underway in the opening home fixture in the Scottish Premiership for Aberdeen. St Mirren with their first away fixture. I can tell you, Jack McKenzie's been clattered already. Rooney goes in on McGrath. Alex Gogic plays the ball up towards the halfway line. St Mirren playing from left to right, so we watch from the back of the main stand, and then Graham Shinney upends his opponent. So 22 seconds gone, we've had 3 fouls. Then Rooney goes in again on McGrath. This could get tasty, Willie.
Well, it's an important game, isn't it? And I know that over the years the authorities have tried to get tackling, certainly any severe tackling out of the game, but I think it's a big part of the game as well.
Little ball headed forward into the area. Lasagna chased it in. It was a clever header on from Scott. Also moving in well was Adeniran just with a little flick header, but coming from his line was Mitov. Mitov drops it short onto Rubezic. Rubezic being chased down by Lasagna. Plays it out wide onto McKenzie. McKenzie forward to Shinney. Took good position. Shinney plays a lovely ball through towards Sokler. Well read by Gogic inside his own half. He's on the left hand side. Opens his arms out. Yells at his teammates for not moving. He played the ball inside. Onto Fraser. Fraser onto Rooney. Back onto Fraser once more.
He's read it well though, Paul, Alex Gogic on that occasion, because Sokler had made the run in behind him. And Shinney's pass was a little bit better. It might have evaded the centre back, but his position was absolutely spot on.
Sean running into the air. James Scott getting the start today. Up at the edge of the box, pulls it back to Rooney. Headed away well. McGrath. Ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw in level with the 18-yard box for the away side. Sean Rooney has a little bit of keepy up. He then dries the ball on his jersey. Decides to go short. Plays it in onto Marcus Fraser. Fraser tries to get the ball into the air. It's a diving header at foot height, has to be said. Adeniran deciding to go down. He could have used his left foot or his right, but decided the spectacular. Ball comes down again for St Mirren. Rooney tries to take it past McKenzie. McKenzie jabs it forward. He does well to win it, and now Morris can get the ball away from Sokler. Back to it, plays it through. Sokler is in behind his man. He's got past Gogic. He goes down. Big call for the referee. Morris goes in, tries to make the opportunity for the challenge. The ball breaks back to the goalkeeper. Sockler thinks he should have a penalty. Gogic went in, came close. These are the thoughts of Willie Miller.
Well, there was contact. I don't know if there was enough for Sockler to go down. I actually thought that he could have perhaps stayed on his feet and got onto the ball. It was a magnificent pass from Shayden Morris through the gap and evaded Gogic, and Gogic was really struggling to get back at Sockler. His arm did come out. There was a little push, but Sockler, I thought he could have stayed on his feet. I thought he could have got on the end of that, and if he had have and evaded that Gogic challenge, then he was right through with a huge opportunity to score.
Well, VAR this afternoon is Andrew Dallas. He will have checked it, and the throw will come from that right hand side. I'm with Willie. I thought he could have stayed on his feet. There was a little bit of contact, but not enough. But what a ball through. I mean, that if you're Stephen Robinson and you've got that back three, you're now looking to see where are the gaps.
Yeah, I think the ball from Morris was, I was speaking about Morris in the St Johnstone game, and he doesn't normally get his head up. I'm sure it was Morris that made the pass through.
It was.
And in this occasion, he got his head up. You know, he saw the opportunity, and it was just the weight of it was pretty good as well. And Sockler gets there in front of Gogic, and for me, I think he's you know, if I was putting a bet on, I would have certainly put my money on him being able to stay on his feet. But he felt that little touch from Gogic. He went down. I think it was a wrong decision. I don't feel that it was enough to make him go to ground.
I don't want to be harsh about this, but if that's Majowski, does he score?
It's very early in the game to bring that one up, but I'll tell you what, yes.
Yeah. 0-0 here, Aberdeen against St Mirren. Paul Mitchell, that's Willie Miller. You're with us here on Sports Sound of BBC Radio Scotland. Earlier on today, Hibs 0, Celtic 2. We'll keep you up to date. Kilmarnock, St Johnstone, Kennedy, Nidsan is there for us. St Mirren play the ball forward up towards the edge of the area. Adrian's calling for it. It's going to be swung out wide, and here's an opportunity for Sean Rooney. Rooney outside the box, the right hand side. It comes in. It takes a little nick off Jack McKenzie, and all the way through to the man in black, this Dimitar Mitov, who gathered the ball at his post, gets things moving out onto Devlin. Devlin now moves up towards the halfway line. Short pass over the halfway line onto Morris. Morris drops the shoulder. He's brilliantly away. Still going. McGrath opens up the space for him. He'll push it out wide. Here's Gay on the left-hand side. He steps in, moves across the box, and just plays the ball off Adrian. And now it'll be gathered again. Played down by McKenzie. McKenzie onto Gee, back inside. Here's Nielsen. Nielsen strong, plays it through onto McKenzie. McKenzie can't get past Gogic at the edge of the area. Now it's sent long. Malloy jumps in ahead of Olasanya, wins it well, and plays the ball across onto Nicky Devlin. Devlin forward onto Nielsen. Nielsen calling for it back, but Rubezic decides to play it onto the halfway line. Round the corner for Malloy. McKenzie tries the back heel to get away from Rooney, and then Fraser too strong for McGrath, and then shimmies his way past the on-rushing player. That was Gay. And now the ball comes across out to the left-hand side for St Mirren, played back inside, lifted high. Alex Iacovitti sends it long. Devlin will win it on the halfway line, pushed forward by Boyd Munce. There's been a goal at Kilmarnock. Kennedy Nidsan can give us the details.
1-0 to St Johnstone, 3 minutes on the clock. A nice finish as well from Adama Sidibe, just hooking the ball in when the Kilmarnock defence just dallied when they really shouldn't have. It had been quite an enterprising start from the home side up until then in the first few minutes, but they're a goal down.
Vice Carradine, what an impact he's had in St Johnstone. He gets key goals, the Sidibe. Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 1. The scoreline there. Waiting for the opening goal here. Aberdeen arguably had the chance with Esther Sockler. Slovenian couldn't take the chance. Aberdeen have a throw on that far side, lifted by Devlin. Devlin plays it down. It's a great run again by Sockler, and Fraser has to come across to head the ball out of play. Aberdeen getting the passes forward quickly, looking lively. And the St Mirren back three just a little bit rattled by this, and they've got plenty of experience in there. McGrath is absolutely sandwiched in the area. The ball is headed behind by Gogic. Aberdeen are furious. They think this is a penalty. Willie Miller.
Yeah, Gogic has gone back the way he doesn't see the Aberdeen player. I'm trying to make out, I think it's McGrath, Jamie McGrath, that comes in, and he's marked by another St Mirren player, and you know, the three of them collide. The referee's having none of it. I think Gogic did get his head on the ball as he went backward, but it was a rather nasty one for McGrath to contend with. He's saying he was pushed into Gogic, which would have. Yeah, Stephen, did you get a better look at it?
Yeah, there's no doubt that Gogic makes contact with the ball. Well, he's going back. He's no idea what's going on behind him.
Yeah.
So he's completely unaware of where Jamie McGrath is. So he clearly wins the header. McGrath's on his way forward. Gogic is on his way back. And I think it's just a coming together. So I'd be surprised if it's a penalty kick because he's really no idea where he is.
Yeah, corner kick's been taken.
Yeah, Grant Irvine says, come on, get on with it. McGrath takes the corner, into the middle it goes. He actually heads it the wrong way and it's just thumped clear by St Mirren. Mitov waits for it just outside his own penalty area. And he's been told by Mackenzie just to calm it down. He'll take the ball. Jack Mackenzie will gather, plays it out wide onto Graham Shinnie, the skipper. Back inside to Mackenzie, past Malloy, back to the goalkeeper. He sends it long. He is starting on this left-hand side. That ball drifts out of play. Aberdeen have Mitov in goal. It's a back four of Devlin, Rubizic, Malloy and Mackenzie. Shinnie and Nielsen, the two midfield sitters. Well, Shinnie will try to get forward. Morris, Gay, McGrath. And then Mr. Sockler is the main forward. Ellery Malcolm is in goal for St Mirren. It's Fraser, Gogic and Yakavidi, the back three. Rooney and Tanza are the wing backs. Adenian, Boyd Munce, Nadeau and Scott and Alessandro complete the 11 for St Mirren. Nadeau calling for it, doesn't get it, comes inside onto Tanza. Tanza now onto Nadeau, battling hard on that far side with Morris, but on that occasion Nadeau knocks the ball out of play. Man from Dublin, just 22 years old, on loan from Shrewsbury Town. Goalless here. And Aberdeen with a nice tempo about them. And Rubizic inside his own half. Plays it forward over the halfway line to Devlin. Devlin down the side, picked up by Sockler. Sockler though overruns it. But it's out of play and it's going to be a throw in. You notice things about players you haven't seen before, Willie. Servet Healthy Nielsen, to give him his full moniker because it's a Sunday, 32-year-old, very experienced player. He's vocal in the middle of the park, isn't he?
Oh, he is, yeah. I mean, he talks throughout the game, he organises, he points a lot as well. And he keeps it simple. He just goes really from side to side. He allows Shinnie, the games that I've watched anyway, allows Shinnie to get forward that little bit more. And he just keeps that protection in front of his two central defenders, but he'll get forward as well. He'll get forward when Aberdeen like to, on the break, move very swiftly forward under Jimmy Tilleen. And he'll always push up. He's not one for sitting too deep, and they kind of take the midfield line from him. He's always the deepest line midfield player, that's for sure. But he's the one that can push the midfield players forward to support Sockler.
Yeah, looks a very good pickup so far for Aberdeen. Goalless so far. Mackenzie plays it out wide. Gee was looking for it. Rooney goes after it, tries to get the second touch, can't do so, knocks it out of play. Stephen Robinson is out of the technical area. St Mirren hoodie on, just having a little yell at his team. And then a first at Pittodrie, and I've never seen this here before. Willie Miller is actually taking his jacket off because he's too hot. Never spotted that before. Bobbling forward on that far side. Here's Aberdeen trying to move forward. Sockler lays it off onto Morris, who started well. Great ball to Sockler, pulled it back onto Shinnie. Shinnie then tried to play it out wide to Devlin, but Nadeau picked it up. Roland Nadeau gets it back inside. He was fouled, and he was just pulled. Nothing more to it. But Aberdeen again looking very quickly to break.
Yeah, I think that's part of the game that the new manager has brought to Aberdeen. Whenever they get the opportunity, whenever they win the ball back, he wants to see them first and foremost getting the head up and making sure that the initial pass is forward, but very quickly, in that transition from defence to attack, he's encouraging everyone out there basically to make sure that it's a swift counter-attack that they're looking for in every occasion.
Rooney to Yakavidi at the edge of the area. McGrath swings at the ball, doesn't get it clear well. Adeniran sends it out wide. Here's Tanza. It's a great little ball in. And defending on the edge of his 6-yard box is Slobodan Rubic. And Rubic sends it out of play on that far side. Throw in to St Mirren. That was well read by the centre half.
It was, yeah, and it's nice and simple. He just wants to clear his line, make sure that he's doing his job properly, his defensive job, not taking any chances by taking an extra touch in the box and just playing it out. But he's read the situation well, and he's got himself in the right position, and that and that occasion is exactly what he had to do.
Nielsen's given the ball away. He then commits the cardinal sin of going after the player that took the ball away. It was Dennis Adeniran, and Adeniran is down on the ground, and the yellow card comes out for the challenge from behind. You see it so often where the player gives the ball away, tries to win it back, and then makes a silly challenge.
Yeah, and it was a silly challenge from Nielsen. He really doesn't have to do that. You know, I think his defence is well in place. It's not as if you know, it was a last-ditch attempt at a tackle, because that's what it was. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. He's taking the player out completely, and he deserves that yellow card. So, you know, it now puts him in a bit of a nice edge, because, you know, he is the type of player that wants to, you know, be physical in the middle, breaking up attacks, and now he'll just need to watch what he's doing.
He'd always stands over the ball with Keelan Boyd-Munce. Boyd-Munce wears 15, white boots, shaved head. He stands almost directly in front of the ball. He's going to lift it, plays it in, it's too far. You could hear the yell of Alex Iacovitti.
What a build-up you gave him as well, Paul. And what a horrible wasted opportunity from Boyd-Munce there. I mean, just put it into an area that Aberdeen have got to defend, and you know, it's a good situation for him, and he's not asked any questions whatsoever of the Aberdeen defence, and it's an opportunity totally wasted.
Nearly 14 minutes gone, 0-0. No lack of excitement at Pittodrie. Adeniran, fair tackle on gate. Play on, says the referee. There's one or two shouts came from the Aberdeen fans. And Balco sends it long from inside his penalty area. Sends it for Tanser. Tanser can't link up with Olisanya on that occasion, and Aberdeen gather. Played out wide to the left-hand side. McKenzie romping over the halfway line. He makes a run on the inside. It's played out wide onto McGrath. McGrath attacking up at the edge of the box. Plays it back onto McKenzie. McKenzie up against Fraser. Fraser tried to push him one way. He takes the step on the inside. Tried the shot with the right boot, and it was pushed away. I thought Scott was a little bit physical on the challenge on Nielsen, but he's played the ball away, and Olisanya's got the pace on Rubezic. It's an angled shot. He was always going to pull it wide. In fact, it's going to go all the way for a throw on that far side. The angle was against him by the time he got to the ball, but he got past Rubezic, and Rubezic had a 2-yard start on him.
Oh, it was good pace, wasn't it, from Olisanya, and Rubezic has got to do much better. His position's got to be far better. He left himself a little bit open, and he looked as though he was treading water there, didn't he? Rubezic looked really struggling as Olisanya made up that 2 yards and got in front of him. But you're right, Paul, the angle was really tight. You know, it was going to be difficult for him to get that one past Mitov. He hits it with his right foot, and the actual curl on it takes it away from the post as well.
No goals so far. Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 1. Sidiwa with the goal there, as the ball is kneed back to the goalkeeper, and it's picked up and it's played away, and it's going to be sent long. McKenzie tries to get after it. McKenzie watches the ball run out of play, and an easy one. Malloy yells at McKenzie to come and take the throw. McKenzie, one of these players that rips the back of the socks, which must drive the kit man daft, but he's obviously got the calf muscles for it. Launches it long as McGrath, and I'm trying to say it's Fraser. Marcus Fraser landed on McGrath, and Jimmy Teelan looking a little bit bemused at Marcus Fraser. The referee saw nothing wrong with it. Now there two did our assistant referees here, David Room and Alistair Taylor. Alistair Grieve is our fourth official.
Yeah, it's a bit untidy. I don't see too much contact. I think, you know, maybe the hand was out a little bit and McGrath goes down. Again, I think it goes down perhaps a little bit too easily.
And Aberdeen play the ball forward and St Mirren knock it out of play. You could argue over the last couple of seasons, the real basis of St Mirren's success is they've brought in defenders. And this doesn't sound daft, I hope, who know how to defend. They're just good, solid players. They've linked up well, and it's been a real keystone for them.
Yeah, and organised as well. You know, they're not. They're very happy. On you go, Paul. You describe it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a clear yellow card. There's absolutely no doubt about it, and I'm still not convinced why I do. We felt the need to foul Nicky Devlin, who'd had the ball played to him by his goalkeeper inside his own half, trying to race towards the halfway line, and for some reason the Irishman decided to pull him down.
Yeah, it's untidy. It's the sign of a player that really doesn't know how to defend, to be perfectly honest with you. He gets himself into an area that's pretty desperate. He throws the arm out, and he takes Aberdeen player out the game. And the referee, he's got to be strong in these occasions, because there's no attempt to play the ball whatsoever.
That's one of those ones the manager will have a quiet word later. As Mitov plays the ball forward, trying to find Malloy. It's a horrible ball back, comes in. Lasanya's got the chance. Well, he was 6 yards from goal, he was out wide. Now the offside flag goes up. Of course, you've got to let the play run out. He certainly looked offside as the ball was played through to him. Mitov steps forward just to have a little word here with Nielsen as well. And it will be a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a dreadful pass from Mitov to Nielsen. He's well marked. I think it's Boyd Munce that's right on top of him. Lusanya, it falls to him. He's never going to find the back of the net. It didn't look as though he was going to actually hit the target. He didn't hit the target, even though he was in an offside position that wouldn't have counted. Didn't look confident at all in that situation. That's a couple of opportunities that he's not really looked as though he was going to do anything.
Well, the ball is out of play. It's 0-0 here. Let's get the latest from Kilmarnock St Johnstone. Kennedy Nitsan.
Kilmarnock's day is just going from bad to worse. Joe Wright is being sent off here for a second yellow card. He hammered through one of these St Johnstone players a few seconds ago, and the referee, Chris Graham, has no hesitation in pulling the second yellow card out. It's a slow trudge to this near side to come off, and he'll have to walk right past his manager as well. Derek McInnes will be none too impressed. We've only played 16 minutes. Killie are a goal down and a man down.
Long ball from Aberdeen. The goalkeeper will gather. Stephen Craigan is back in our Glasgow studio. Stephen, what did you make of that red card down at Rugby Park?
It's a second yellow card. It's a ridiculous challenge from Joe Wright. He's not going to win the ball. The St Johnstone player nicks the ball away from him. Joe Wright is committed to making the foul, follows through, catches the inside of his foot. It's a yellow card. You can't make tackles like that as a standalone, never mind after you've had a first yellow.
Thanks, Stephen. You're with us here on BBC Radio Scotland Sports Sound. 2 players down in the centre circle. It's Morris for Aberdeen. I'm just trying to check the St Johnstone, the St Mirren player. It's not Gogic. Pillar's right in the way. Willie might have a better idea.
I think it's Papagay that, from an Aberdeen point of view, coming back and rather awkwardly going up for the ball. The referee's actually having a little word with him. As far as the St Mirren player is concerned, just coming
Boyd
to
Munce.
his feet, it is Boyd Munce. So just a little warning for Papagay there, coming rather recklessly into the back of the St Johnstone midfield player.
0-0 here. Boyd Munce
St Mirren midfield player, I beg your pardon.
Yeah. Out wide onto Tanser. Tanser will gather. Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 0, but it's been a good old contest between those two. 26 goals in the last 6 meetings, so we're expecting more today. St Mirren won 3-1 a couple of times. So goals haven't been a problem at 0-0 thus far. Trying to press down the left-hand side. Tanser wants movement. Aduvi takes it in at his feet, does well, gets away from his man. He tried to play it off Shinnie, and he did so. The ball is out of play, level with the penalty box on the far side as we watch. And Scott Tanser jogs his way forward to come and take the throw. Just a second start of the season, but he did start the League One against Hibs. Now the ball floated into the middle. Easy take for Dimitar Mitov, the man from Montana. Well, Montana in Bulgaria. And he gathers and drops the ball at the feet of Rubezic.
Again, it's a wasted opportunity. Vite this time on the left-hand side, and he's just put it too high, nowhere near a blue jersey. And Mitov is under no pressure whatsoever. He's only going to. The only thing that's going to happen there is he's going to come and take it cleanly, and that's exactly what he did. But St Mirren getting himself into good position, but not using the ball particularly well.
Rubezic in all sorts of trouble on the right-hand side there. Scott had cut off the back pass to the goalkeeper, and Tuoso Lasagna just pushes him over and lets him out. Now the long ball played on the angle. Gears away from Rinnie. He's into the area. He shapes to shoot. It's a horrible shot into the side net. He had 3 players rushing in for Aberdeen. For some reason, he decided to go right foot, and it just went straight into the side net.
Yeah, it's on for the left foot strike, isn't it? He was very reluctant to do that. He tried to hit it with the outside of his right foot. He puts it past the near post, but what a crossfield pass it was. from Graham Shinney. Wasn't it absolutely magnificent? Rooney didn't read the flight of the ball at all, and Papagay was in. He should have done much better. He actually had Sockler waiting for the ball as well. He could have easily, if he got his head up, played the square pass for the striker, and it might have been an easy tap in for him. He goes for goal with the outside of the right foot, and it's just a poor effort from him. After good work, because he takes it down well in his chest. You know, he goes past Rooney, but the finish was not one to remember.
McGrath has gone through Scott, just down below us. James Scott just holding the back of his head. Now he's hunched over, and then the hand to the back of the head as the Glaswegian wanders away. The 23-year-old off the bench in all 4 matches this season, getting the start today. And Boyd Munce, who the last time he had a free kick, I gave him a huge build-up, so I'm not going to bother this time because it was a horrendous free kick. And he's going to try and play this in. Aberdeen with everybody back along the edge of the box, bar the 2 men in the wall. Rinian plays it across instead. It drops down, and it comes off Devlin onto Nielsen. Nielsen hooks it forward onto Morris. Morris hits a lovely ball into Sockler. Sockler out wide to McGrath over the halfway line, left-hand side. Adrian is back, but there's a chance for McGrath. Plays it back out wide to Sockler. Sockler back inside onto McGrath. Great tracking back from Sean Rooney. Made the challenge, and the ball then gets cleared. Malloy has it at his feet, plays it on the inside. Rubezic, I think he's overcooked that to Shinnie on the left, but again, Aberdeen showing the danger.
Yeah, you know, but for me, there's better options. You know, with the pass from Sockler. I mean, it was a really good move down the left-hand side. Sockler finds himself inside the box. I think you just drive it across the face. You know, he's tried to pick out, and he did. To be fair, he did pick out McGrath, but McGrath was put under immediate pressure. For me, the ball there is to drive it right across the face of the goal, and hopefully you find the red jersey. But if not, you know, quite simply, it could come off a blue jersey as well and end up, you know, as the opening goal.
Here comes Mackenzie over the halfway line. Aberdeen all in reds up against the all sky blue of St Mirren as the sun pierces the sky here at Pittodrie. Ball round the corner. Papagay, 7 appearances last term, 3 so far this term. Tries to work the 1-2 and McGrath doesn't quite get there. Boyd Munce digs it out, plays it back onto Marcus Fraser and into the man in yellow, Ellery Balcombe, and he sends the ball clear up to the halfway line. Won by Malloy. Mackenzie battling for it. Boyd Munce trying to get in there as well, and Aidan Arant tries to gather, pops it on the inside. Iduwu tries a little step over and runs into Graham Shinnie, who takes him down. Aidan Arant set him up nicely. Iduwu then coming through, but Shinnie was rather suckered into that challenge.
It's scrappy, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of challenges going in that are obviously giving a lot of free kicks away. You know, it's messy challenges. It's not players that are thinking about the game, you know, rather just instinctively reacting to the situation and reacting in all the wrong ways too. And that's from both sides.
Adeniran gets ready to play the ball forward. No Boyd Munce alongside him this time. Plays the ball in. Yakavidi trying to break down that left-hand side. He was well marshalled, and again the ball goes behind. St Mirren's set play team will be working on a few more.
I think so. You know, they've had maybe 4 or 5 free kicks in good positions, and you know, just about every one of them has been poorly taken, delivery not acceptable, and I think Stephen Robinson will be very unhappy with the quality of the set pieces. So a bit of work to be done next week, I would suggest.
Adeniran plays it forward onto Rooney. Rooney's going to overhit Tanser on that far side. The games just keep on coming, of course, for St Mirren. And they go across to play Brandt. Kelly will play Tromsø. You can hear those matches live on BBC Radio Scotland, of course. And then our coverage of the League Cup Saturday, Sunday next week as well. Competition's coming thick and fast, and all the action as ever right here. Ball comes back to Aberdeen, and beaten in the first 5 matches of the season. Playing the ball down the far side, and a little header away. Morris, Yakavidi under some pressure. And it's going to be a throw in about 15 yards inside. St Mirren halfway out on that far side. Aberdeen is St Mirren looking to see who can make the breakthrough here. This used to be a fixture for at least a decade where it was not a problem to Aberdeen whatsoever. St Mirren went 15 games without a win at Pittodrie, but they've won 2 of the last 3. And they've looked comfortable at times here as the ball gets played out wide. On to Morris. Morris tried to play it past Jakaviri and he just overhit it. And the first touch was way too heavy. He was never catching.
He's quick, but he's not that quick, is he? I think new manager Jimmy Tillane is encouraging the players to go forward very quickly, but you've got to have the ball under a little bit of control. And Morris is one of the players that is more than capable of, taking on defenders very quickly, but the touch has got to be right. You've got to be in control of the ball. He wasn't in control of the ball. His touch was poor, way too heavy hit, and it goes out from a promising position as well, because Nielsen did really well. He keeps it simple. He doesn't do anything too extravagant. Keeps it nice and simple and keeps possession, and allowing Morris to have an opportunity to cause the St Mirren defence a problem or two wasted.
Picked up by Gogic inside his own half, opens it up to Alex Jakaviri. 116 appearances for Ross County, spent last season at Port Vale, but now back in Scottish football, making his first start for St Mirren today. Off the bench 3 times in the 4 games so far. Ball out wide, back onto Jakaviri, looks up, just strokes the ball forward. Olasanya gets ahead of Rubizic, gathers just that little sliver of shade on that far side. Aduwa, one of the players booked in the match, up at the edge of the area, tries to take on Devlin, goes towards the byline, needs some help, turns, spins, the cross is blocked, and Nielsen, the other player booked in the match, gets it away onto Tanser. Tanser though gives it away, and Gay almost snuck away with it, but again his touch just took the ball out of play, and Scott Tanser will leave it for Alex Jakaviri. We have played nearly 29 minutes, goalless so far between these two teams, but plenty to talk about.
Yeah, it's not been high quality football, I wouldn't suggest. It's been competitive, a little bit scrappy at times. You're looking for a little bit more composure. You're looking for definitely more opportunities being created. Aberdeen probably having the better of the opportunities. But there's nothing much in the game, Paul. I think both defences are looking reasonably solid. I think Aberdeen defence is certainly that. Maybe at times St Mirren not so much. But we need more quality. I think that's what the game is crying out for.
Mackenzie plays the ball down the left-hand side, over the halfway line it goes. Fraser gets his body in ahead of McGrath, wins it, tries to play it away. McGrath steps across him, and the ball knocked out of play. Aberdeen have got Graham Shinnie down. Shinnie went to the turf of his own volition there, and the physio looking to come across. So Jimmy Tillane just standing there, black jacket, black trousers, white top. It's a look that few can actually carry off, but he does. He's got that kind of look and physique about him, and he just looks unconcerned as his skipper is on the ground. Both sets of players now coming across to the touchline to take on some liquids. It is certainly warm enough, and you get the opportunity to do so. Even Tarmitov is trotting over. Graham Shinnie getting some attention. Looks to the left leg at the moment, as both goalkeepers come over as well. So both these teams getting a chance. Stephen Robinson on one hand, and it's Jimmy Tillane just having a little word as well, getting the message on.
Yeah, I think it gives the players an opportunity to get some fluids, into their body as well, and an opportunity as well for the managers just to have a little bit of a conversation. Jimmy Tillane seems to be the one that's more intent in getting the message on, while Graham Shinnie is getting some intense treatment. That left leg of his, I didn't actually see what happened. I'm not sure if it was a challenge or a twist or what. It seemed to be the lower left leg that he's getting the attention to, and they're looking at it quite seriously. We just have to wait and see if he's okay to continue or not.
The Aberdeen substitutes warming up way down to our left-hand side. They've stopped for a moment. They're in conversation. They're all looking up the touchline to see if they're going to be called on.
I think they're okay. I think I saw a thumbs up there from one of the physios, and Graham Shinnie getting to his feet. He's not looking too happy with it, though, I've got to say, but it's a bit of a warrior. I would imagine he would at least give it a go and see if he can recover from it.
He's now off standing in what they now call it Pittodrie, the red zone. That's between the two corner flags right on this near side. Unauthorised personnel will be ejected, we've been informed. So had a nice little wander around the other side, Willie, in the shade as the ball gets played, and Shinnie is back on the field. 0-0 Sunday afternoon Radio Scotland. It's Killie 0, St Johnstone 1. Cinema scoring for St Johnstone early doors. Joe Wright sent off 2 bookable offences. And the right call according to Kevin Hudson, who's at the game, and Stephen Craigan, who saw it again, who's watching in the studio. Earlier on today, Hibs 0, Celtic 2. Kuhn McGregor making a perfect start for the champions and a miserable start for Hibs. Played 2, lost 2, scored none, conceded 5. Ball is now with Rooney just inside his opponent's half. Takes a touch, tries to get past McGrath, turns, plays it back onto Marcus Fraser. Fraser in his 5th season with St Mirren. Plays it across to Gogic. Gogic to Jakovidi. Short ball inside onto Boyd Munce. Down the left-hand side for Olasanya. Rubizic just sends the ball into the stand on that far side. Scott Tanser will come and take the throw. Throws it back in to Jakovidi. Jakovidi plays it into Gogic. Gogic and back across onto Fraser. Fraser brings it out wide to Rooney. A little bit of space on this right-hand side. Whips it in first time, headed away by McKenzie, picked up by Aberdeen. Nice little twist and turn to get away from Boyd Munce, and then Rooney has just gone through his man. The colour of the card will be interesting. The referee is right there. He says it's a yellow card, but I'll tell you what, that was a hefty old challenge, and just taking his time to get back up. It's Sockler who went down.
Yeah, you know, I think it's one of these challenges where he's jumping at the tackle. I feel he gets a lot of the ball, but hey, you know, I don't know if that counts. It obviously doesn't in the referee's mind. You know, as a tackle, and it was Sockler that the tackle was put, and it was Fraser sliding in there, but his feet was along the ground. You know, it's one of these ones that I think they're just trying to, you know, not have in the game. They're trying to make sure that the referee is clamping down on it, because it's a bit uncontrolled.
It's uncontrolled. My other problem with it, I'll talk about in a moment, as Fraser tries to clear. He hooks it over the shoulder. Yeah, I mean, if you're submitting persuasion, as Rooney gets the ball bounced down to him and he boots it into the stands, so he's now getting roundly booed. The question is why you're doing that in that area.
Yeah, I mean, the game has been like that, though. You know, challenges going in where you really don't need to have, you know, the kind of challenge that's going in, and opponents, and as being... The discipline has been meted out by the referee as well, by the yellow card. So yeah, a little bit more thought, and I've said that throughout this first half, a little bit more thought required from the players, you know, just to keep their composure and not dive into challenges when they don't have to.
Adeniran gathers, holds off his man easily away from Malloy, plays it onto the halfway line. Jakovidi sends it through. Now it comes out wide. Idubu onto Tanser. Tanser plays it into the middle. James Scott was not far away from meeting that. Aberdeen just got a flick on it and the ball's come out for a throw. We'll stay with this throw. There has been another goal at Kilmarnock. We'll get back down there in a moment, but let's stick with Rooney with the throw, because he's got that long throw capability, getting ready to throw it in. He's being roundly booed by the Aberdeen fans down below. The referee says to Rooney, get on with it. Rooney stands up against the board, steps in, gets the throw on tiptoes, and it comes, breaks down. Olasanya can't get there, takes the touch, goes behind. Let's get the details of the second goal to come at Rugby Park. Kerridine Adsan.
We played just over half an hour here, and St Johnstone's Adama Sidibe's on a hat-trick. Really good play down the left-hand side from Andre Raymond. Beat his man, whipped in a ball. It was too easy though for Sidibe to take a touch inside the Killie area and slam the ball into the net. 2-0 to St Johnstone, and remember, of course, Killie are down to 10 men after Joe Wright was sent off. Not their day at all.
Certainly doesn't appear to be. Remember, Killie have yet to win this season. Drawn 2, lost 2. They've conceded in all 5 games. They did win 2 or 3 against St Johnstone last season, but it's going to take some comeback with 10 men. Sidibe with a double. What an afternoon so far for Craig Levine's men. As Aberdeen look to the heavens, Nielsen again going into the foul line. And Duhut is the man who went down, and the referee just stands over the ball. Alasanya's slow to get up as well. Duhut runs himself forward. Boyd Munce comes out to take the free kick. They've had several from good promising positions, about 30-35 yards out, and actually sent nothing in on the goalkeeper so far of any note. Duhut runs over as well. Aberdeen have lost the last 2 against St Mirren. They last lost 3 in a row back in July 2011. So St Mirren enjoying themselves the last couple of seasons against the Dons. Boyd Munce plays it in, and again it's right at the goalkeeper, and that will worry Stephen Robinson. Mitov took a long time to get rid of the ball. then decides to play it and knocks it straight out of play.
It's just dreadful, isn't it? Boyd once again, you know, you get these opportunities, 6-7 free kicks from, you know, good areas, and the very least you've got to do is make Aberdeen defend. You know, put it into an area that they've got to think about defending, and invariably it's either out the pitch or...
Balcombe has come outside his box. He's hit the ball against Sokler. Sokler's gone into the box. That's where the ball went. He's got it. The goalkeeper's back in his goal, but McGrath will play it forward. This on to Sokler. Sokler tries to get it across. Gogic comes in to clear. What on earth the goalkeeper was thinking about or doing. I mean, Esther Sokler, I mean, he's 6 foot. He's hard to miss. And somehow he didn't realise the danger that he was posing.
Yeah, and it was a big opportunity for Sokler. It was a little bit unfortunate that the ball went just too wide, but Balcombe, he's not concentrating. He's switched off a little bit, and you can't do that in these occasions, and he's presenting Sokler with an opportunity, and fortunately for the goalkeeper, it didn't come to anything.
24-year-old is back in his line as the corner whips in, tries to get it. Aberdeen have scored. Gee with the header, it went over the goalkeeper, and Papagay scores for the first time as an Aberdeen player, and the Senegalese player takes the applause. Aberdeen won, 7-0.
Listen, it's a good delivery, isn't it? You know, from this left-hand side towards your back post, but Balcombe, after making that error and presenting Sokler with the opportunity, takes himself right under it. I mean, it's right over the top of his head, and somehow he doesn't manage to get anything on it, and Papagay just sneaks in at the back post and just puts a forehead on it and bullets it into the back of the net to give Aberdeen the lead here at Pittodrie.
6 minutes to half-time, Aberdeen make the breakthrough, and Papagay, the man who was on loan last season, Christensen, he wasn't part of the squad overall. Aberdeen thought they could live without him. Well, the 24-year-old, who's got a wealth of experience across several countries, has come back to Aberdeen. He's a part of the squad this term, and on his 10th appearance for Aberdeen, makes the breakthrough. Ball comes forward. Rooney heads it on. Mackenzie sends it away. Rooney wins the header again. Comes off the head of Shinnie, right in the D. Rubezic gets it away straight to Tanser. Tanser brings it down, gets the shot away. It's blocked by Shinnie, who got himself back up. Shinnie is down once more. He's helped his feet. Corner kick goes the way of St Mirren.
You would think, you know, going back to the goal, Paul, you would think Balcombe, when he's made that error and he's got away with it, you know, switching off and allowing Sokler, you know, the chance to worry his goal, and then you just need to get your concentration right, and you need to get your positioning right, and he gets it all wrong, right over the top of his head for Papagay. An easy goal for Aberdeen.
Boyd Munch with a horrible ball into the box. It was a short corner played back to him. Adeniran played it to him, and then he completely mishit the ball in. Aberdeen with a charge forward, but Marcus Fraser is there, and the ball comes back to Balcombe. Brentford player, I mentioned this is his 8th loan, but I mean he's got over 75 appearances at top team level, so he's not a newbie as far as that's concerned. It really was a horrible misjudgment.
It was, wasn't it? But listen, it was a good delivery from Jamie McGrath. He's whipped it in with a good bit of curl as well, and a lot of pace, but it's just about, you know, getting the flight of the ball, and the goalkeeper just didn't do that.
You fancy estimating the crowd around here, Willie, today? Because I've got the official...
Around 17,000.
That's brilliant. You know the stadium so well. 17,057 inside Pittodrie.
That's a really good crowd, though, isn't it?
And let's pay tribute to the St Mirren fans. There are a lot of them over there on the stand opposite to us and to the left-hand side. They've travelled in number. It's not easy when you're planning foreign travel as well. And your side is one down. And if there's a theme to this first half, it's all about the set play delivery. Aberdeen have had it, St Mirren haven't. Olasanya with a little head flick forward. The ball just ends up in the area. Scott tried to come across, and Mitov gathered, plays the ball out wide. On to Devlin. Devlin round the corner. On to Morris, who's drifted slightly out the game. The back pass is not on, so he plays it inside to Nielsen. Nielsen was short. Tanser goes in there, and it's gathered to do. He tries to run through. Well, he just shapes Shinnie away from the ball. He then steps on it, turns behind. Sokler comes back, says, look, I'll take it. And then Aberdeen start to get the ball away through McGrath. He was taken down by Olasanya, but the ball's come wide onto Gate. Gate over the halfway line, takes a little step, takes a touch. Amazing what a goal can do for your confidence. and brings the ball all the way back to Gavin Malloy. The doubler tries to send it down the side. Adeniran can't keep it in, and the referee is going to want a word with someone. He's indicating it's
got to be Olasanya, is it not?
Yeah.
You know, he's just pushed Jamie McGrath to the ground for no reason whatsoever. You know, another untidy challenge from, you know, the players out there. It's been strewn with these type of challenges. Yet another one as well.
Boyd, Munson, Nielsen.
You've just got to think about the game a little bit more rather than just running into opposition players.
Well, it could be argued they're playing the game like a cup tie at the moment. It just seems to be a little bit frenetic and frantic. And Aberdeen, with the lead, can settle things down. And it's gathered and played back. Aberdeen, thank me for reminding us, last time they led against St Mirren was Conor Barron's wonder goal. Then Paisley back in March, and then they lost 2 goals in stoppage time. Neil Warnock just could not believe what he was watching. Here's Shada Morris up at the edge. Aberdeen looking to go 2 ahead before the interval. Can't get past Tanser. The touch is wide. Adu sends the ball away. Can't link with Scott. Comes back to Nielsen. Wide on that right-hand side. Nielsen tries to time the pass in. Gogic got ahead. Again, McGrath just won enough of the ball. Adeniran tries to gather. Adeniran from Southwark in London sends the ball on the angle, but Rubizic gets back and heads the ball back to his goalkeeper. They do like Southwark here. Ruby, as they say.
The crowd enjoyed that one, didn't they? A bit of calmness and a bit of quality from the centre back. He can be a little bit rash at times with some of these challenges, but as that crossfield pass came to his head, he knew exactly where Mitov was, and he just nodded it back to the goalkeeper, and it was appreciated by the fans in the red shed.
The line from Belgrade making them smile. Papagay is the man on the score sheet with a minute to play in this first half. Rugby Park, Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 2. David Sidibut with 2 goals. Joe Wright red carded in between them. 2 yellow cards for the Killie player. Not pleased Derek McInnes. Joe Wright missed the game due to suspension. I think it was the Celtic game, so he's going to be in trouble once more. There's the ball played back inside by St Mirren, inside their own half. Gogic plays it forward on to Sean Rooney. He took the town last season. Can't get past Jamie McGrath on that occasion. Sean Rooney never hides his emotions, I think it's fair to say. Fraser plays the ball back onto Gogic. Gogic inside his own half onto Jakubidi, the man from Nottingham. Loops the ball forward, looking for Olasanya. Olasanya holding off Malloy. Then tried to play it wide to Rooney, but couldn't pick up on the ball. McGrath picks up instead. Short ball to Gee with a touch to try to get past Fraser. Well, Gary Thielen thinks that's a free kick. I always wonder with these things, Willie, where the defender's supposed to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it's a free kick. It's another rash challenge, isn't it? You know, Marcus Fraser just coming into Papagay. I don't know what the referee's thinking there. Maybe he thinks that Papagay's went down too easily. But another kind of a rash challenge, another untidy pass as well. Yeah, Aberdeen will be happy. Jimmy Tillene will be happy. The fact that half-time it's looking as though his team's going to go in 1-0 up, but you know, I think the quality has been very poor from both sides in this first 45.
Yeah, I thought Papagay was looking for that one, I have to say. Just one of these things that he was looking just to try and turn Marcus Fraser. If you think he was fouling, well, he got away with it then. Ball is out wide on that far side. 45 minutes have come and gone, 3 additional minutes to be played. The ball is bouncing around inside the midfield, and Adeniran just hooks it high in the air, turned back again, and it's taken down initially by Gay, but Gay can't hold on to it. It comes back just outside their own penalty box, and Fraser jabs the ball back to Hilary Malcolm. Malcolm, born in Watford, plays for Brentford, gets the ball out wide onto that far side. Jakubidi back inside onto Gogic. Gogic picks up, slides the ball through onto Fraser. Fraser for Rooney to run. Rooney will need to take a touch and play it round. He tries to play it first time for Scott. Malloy is there, hooks it away. Great ball up onto McGrath. McGrath then fouled by Rooney. Fairly easy one. Sean Rooney can't believe it. Arms outstretched, looks at referee Grant Irvine, but I don't think there was too much doubt that was a foul.
No, you know, again, getting too close and not thinking about the correct position to be in to challenge for that ball, Sean Rooney. But Malloy has been pretty impressive, I think, in the games that I've watched him so far, the young centre-back, and dealt with that situation extremely well. And the pass forward was accurate too, so he found himself in a difficult situation. He had to deal with it. He could have just played it out of the park, but he's played a lovely little dink pass up to McGrath down the line.
Aberdeen leading by 1-0. Sports Sound on a Sunday afternoon. BBC Radio Scotland. St Mirren have the ball. Out wide onto Rooney, who's the villain of the piece at the moment. Back on to Fraser. Fraser hooks it up into the area. Olasanya does well. Olasanya's got away from his man. He's going to score. He's somehow got it past Rubicic. Mitov couldn't get his gloves on it. And Toyosi Olasanya simply burrowed his way through and tapped the ball into the back of the net. St Mirren equalised in stoppage time in the first half. Aberdeen 1, St Mirren 1.
Well, I'm saying that he's done well, Malloy, and that occasion, him and Rubicic and Mitov getting in a real fangle there, the ball being played over. Olasanya, he shows a presence, he shows strength there, maybe a little nudge on Malloy, and then wrestling with Rubicic, and Rubicic trying to play it back to Mitov, who comes out. And then at the end of the day, it's quite an easy tap-in for the St Mirren striker. There was a contact. I don't know if they'll check that, but I think the goal is good. And if it is 1-1 here, we're playing time added on in the first half.
That's his 10th goal for St Mirren. That's his 3rd this season. And the two teams line up, and the referee may just blow straight away. He does so. Well, with the last action of the first half, St Mirren draw themselves level. Toyosi Olasanya, not one, not two, but 3 Aberdeen players had the opportunity to get rid of it. They couldn't do so. Papagay had sent Aberdeen into the lead after an error by St Mirren's goalkeeper, Ellery Balcom. He went up against Sockler at the edge of the box. Somehow they managed to get the ball away for a corner, and from the resultant corner, Guy headed in. But it's Olasanya who got the last laugh at the end of the first half. 45 minutes still to play at Pittodrie. The half-time scoreline: Aberdeen 1, St Mirren 1.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
This summer, immerse yourself in the world's greatest classical music festival. From the epic Holst and Beethoven to Sam Smith reimagined, and a symphonic Florence and the Machine. The BBC Proms. Watch on iPlayer, listen on BBC Sounds.
You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon, and the away fans in a celebratory mood at Pittodrie, which they were not for much of that first 45 minutes, and certainly not from the point where Papa Gay had headed in his first Aberdeen goal to give them the lead. But out of nothing, out of nowhere, just the battling qualities of Toyosi Olasanya earning St Mirren parity as the teams go up the tunnel in the northeast sunshine. Aberdeen 1, St Mirren 1, Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 2. That should be heading towards half-time. A double from Adama Sidibe. Right, we'll hear more from Willie at Pittodrie shortly. Stephen Craigan's with us this afternoon. He's in the studio keeping an eye on the 2 games that are currently taking place. Let's start with that game at Pittodrie first of all, Stephen, because that has reached the interval, and well, a bit of a smash and grab right at the end there from St Mirren, and poor defensively, but Olasanya really burrowed his way through, didn't he?
It probably sums up the game, Richard, that goal, that it was really scrappy. I think the game in general has been scrappy. Willie has said that. It's been stop-start, it's been disjointed at times, there's been no real rhythm or flow to it, and you kind of felt whoever got themselves in front would put themselves in a really strong position, because I think both sides have lacked a little bit of quality in the final third, but just through sheer determination from Olasanya has got St Mirren level. But I think Jimmy Tilleen will be disappointed with the defending. Gavin Malloy does get a little nudge, I think, from James Scott. Rubicic actually tries to shield the ball back to his goalkeeper and tries to body check Olasanya, but Olasanya manages to get round the side of him and just nick it through the legs of Mitov. So such a poor goal considering you get yourself in front, you're on the brink of half-time. Rubicic, for me, should just go and clear the ball. If he puts it out for a corner kick, go and defend the corner kick. But St Mirren have lacked energy. You know, they looked as if they're gasping for air. They haven't got up to the speed of the game. Stephen Robinson has to hope that goal gives him energy. I think in his mindset, he would have been thinking changes at half-time. I just think Olasanya and James Scott, quite similar, making the similar kind of runs. They maybe need a man drawn or on Ayunga, a physical presence up front with them just to kind of bring him into the game. So he'll be delighted to their level. He'll be disappointed with the goal they've conceded. Papagayi, it's actually 3v1 against Scott Tanzer at the back of that zone in the 6-yard box from the corner kick. So lots to play for in the second half. We give it the big build-up before the game. That hasn't taken off yet, but I'm still holding out hope the second half will be better than the first.
Yeah, it has not been a classic thus far, it has to be said. It is half-time at Rugby Park, and what a scoreline this is for St Johnstone. Kerry Nidson.
Kelly 0, St Johnstone 2, much more of a classic here. This has been one of these games where, well, you just can't quite take your eyes off the pitch. We've had goals, we've had a red card, we've had the 10 men of Kilmarnock hitting a post close to the half-time whistle. We have had just about everything. The main headline, a double for Adama Sidibe. Kelly will not be happy at all with the ease with which he scored both of the goals. The first was a nice hooked finish. It was simple though, it was a throw-in, a flick on, and Sidibe reacted quickest when the Kilmarnock defence dallied. Then Kelly's afternoon went from bad to worse because Joe Wright got sent off after just over 15 minutes. A second yellow card. He cannot argue at all. A stupid lunge at Kim Pioka when he was already on a yellow. Off he went. Then Saints doubled their advantage. Really nice play down the left-hand side. What a player they have in Andre Raymond, their Trinidad and Tobago international left-back. I think they found a bit of a diamond there. He's absolutely tormented Kilmarnock in this first half. Has a nice fleet of foot, a great left-footed delivery, and it was perfect for Sidibe, who again, unmarked inside the Killie box. Nice finish, 2-0 to St Johnstone. And you just wondered where the Kilmarnock comeback might come from, especially when they needed their goalkeeper Robbie McCrory to pull off two excellent saves to keep out a Matt Smith shot and then a Dre Wright volley from a corner. That was just before half-time, and just as the referee was reaching for his whistle, well, Fraser Murray's poor shot at the other end was deflected. It nearly crept in, but came back agonisingly off the post. Agonisingly, I say, for the vast majority of the fans here who are hoping Kilmarnock can come into it. As for the wee pocket of St Johnstone fans, well, they are thoroughly enjoying their afternoon in the Ayrshire sunshine, because at half-time their team is leading by 2-0.
There has not been a hat-trick in the Premiership since the 13th of May 2023. So there wasn't a single hat-trick scored in the Premiership in the whole of last season. Adama Sidibe is, well, he's got 45 minutes. If he's given those 45 minutes to, well, become a history maker in that sense. A St Johnstone player hasn't scored a hat-trick in the top flight since the 5th of May 2018. That was Stephen McLean that got that in a game against Motherwell. But there have been quite a few players in the intervening time who have got to 2 goals without making it to 3 in the Premiership. So that's something to watch out for in the second half. We touched on it earlier, Stephen, about how difficult, or relatively difficult, a start it had been to Kilmarnock, given what they achieved last season. It seems like it's just been one of those 45 minutes for them, and it feels like a long way back, doesn't it?
It does, and having the game on in front of me, it looks a long way back, Richard. Carradine said they hit the post right before half-time. That would have given them a real lifeline. Fortunately for St Johnstone, it hit the outside of the post and went away. But yes, Kilmarnock are down to 10 players, but don't make that as a judgment to think that that's why they're losing. St Johnstone have been really, really good. They've been aggressive, they've been on the front foot. I have to say the front two of Kim Pioka and Sidibe have been a real handful. They've been willing runners, have stretched the game. When Kilmarnock try and push up the pitch, there's lots of gaps for them to run into. So they've been so good, they've caused all sorts of problems. And Derek McInnes was bemoaning the fact of poor goals on Thursday night against Tromsø. Well, when he watches these 2 goals back, that certainly won't cheer his mood up. The first one's just a simple long throw into the box. They lose the first header. I think it's Assel, the midfield player, flicks it on, and then they lose a second contact as well. So that's a dreadful goal to give away, considering I think Kilmarnock had 6 or 7 players in the box, and St Johnstone players get 2 touches on it, and it ends up in the back of the net. The second goal, Carradine's spot on. I was making some notes. Raymond in the left-hand side has been excellent. He's got a free run. He's up and down. His deliveries have been good. He has a lovely square ball for the second goal. But again, Sidibe just peels off 10 or 12 yards from goal, manages to get a first touch, turn and face up the goal and get a shot off with no pressure. So the goals that Kilmarnock have given away have been poor. But I've got to say, St Johnstone fully deserve another victory. Yes, Joe Wright, 2 yellow cards, had to be sent off. Craig Levine spoke ahead of the game, didn't he, to Carradine, about trying to add to the performance from Monday night. He thought they'd done a lot of things well. This afternoon, it's all really come together for them, and as I say, deserving to be 2-0 up. Could have been more, actually, but for Robbie McCrory, a couple of smart saves.
We spoke with Craig Levine, the programme last week, and actually he was previewing the game against Aberdeen. He was quite hopeful in the sense that although for seasons now, and in fact you go way back, St Johnstone have found goal scoring to be a real struggle. That's 4 now for Sidibe, and Kimpioka's already on 5 for the season. Do you think he might finally have found an answer that has bedeviled St Johnstone managers for so long?
Well, it's certainly more encouraging than what it's been over previous seasons. You're right. You know, there's been guys like Chris Kane and Stevie May who have plugged away. Callum Hendry was there for a while. They've plugged away, but they haven't managed to get the number of goals that probably sometimes St Johnstone have deserved. But Craig clearly was keen to keep them. I think there was bids in the summer for Kimpioka, possibly in Sidibe. There was other clubs looking around, sniffing around, but he was adamant they were going to stay at the club. There's been fresh investment, so that probably helps. And it's just putting the icing on the cake, because some of their build-up play in previous seasons has been fine, but just having that clinical striker, the one who can sniff about, Richard, the cock with the double 6-yard box, 8, 10, 12 yards from goal, who can sniff out goals, who can put themselves in good positions. And both goals today have been real good centre-forward finishes. Really sharp, really crisp, really alert when the ball comes in there. Probably something they have lacked. But yeah, Craig will be delighted getting themselves 2 goals up. It's now about managing the game. They don't have to go chasing it. They don't have to go after the game. Try and draw Kilmarnock onto them. They can utilise the space in behind with the pace and the movement of Kimpioka and Sidibe. So it's a perfect situation for them to be into. Derek McInnes is now thinking, right, I've got a huge game on Thursday. How do I manage the second half? Do I really go for it? Do I put lots into it? So both managers have got decisions to make at half-time. Craig Levine, do they really go after it? I think they'll be quite happy, but Derek is going to have to try and change something. But it's been a really impressive first half from the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, it will be fascinating to see how this all pans out. It's still so early in the season, but I mean, you go back, just looking back at some of the seasons they've had, St Johnstone, I think it was Derek McInnes was in charge at the time, 23 goals in season 2010-11, and stayed up despite only scoring that. A couple of times they've had 24, there were 28 a few seasons back, there were only 29 last season. So, I mean, it could make a huge difference if indeed that is something that they can find an answer to. You're right, Kilmarnock, well, Derek spoke about it beforehand, didn't he, about the importance of the cup competitions and having to juggle his squad and having to almost prioritise. I'm sure he gives full priority to the game that's in front of him, but he has to look at the bigger picture, and that's going to be fascinating in the second half to see his approach and also to see the approach of St Johnstone, because they've got to feel this is a game that is there for them, not just for the taking, but potentially to win very comfortably.
Absolutely. And, you know, Craig Levine would have known coming into this game it was a difficult fixture. Derek spoke to Carradine before the game, said how good their home form has been over the past 2 seasons. There's not many clubs go to Rugby Park and come away with a victory and keep a clean sheet, so that's got to be the real challenge for Craig Levine in the second half. But, you know, it's interesting you talk about all the clean sheets and our lack of goals for St Johnstone. It puts a little bit of pressure on you defensively, Richard, because if you're not scoring enough goals, and it means you've really got to be watertight at the back. But I think just having that pace and that movement and that freedom up front, I think Mackenzie Kirk come on Monday night. I thought he was a real handful as well. So clearly that was an area where they wanted to add. They wanted to have that little bit more flair, a little bit more competition for places. And like everyone else, if you can find yourself a goal scorer, someone who can continually hit the back of the net, it gives you a chance of climbing the table, staying away from trouble, and that's exactly what St Johnstone want. That won't be in their mind at this moment in time, you're right, but they'll be thinking, can we go and get 3, can we go and get 4, make a real statement to show that we're actually a decent side.
And in terms of the other game you've been watching there as well, I mean, that comes a bit of a shock to Aberdeen. I think probably that St Mirren have managed to get that leveller just on half time, but it does a little reminder, I suppose, that it's also a bit of pressure.
Totally. It's, you know, Stephen Robinson, I think, will change something at half time. I'd be amazed if he doesn't bring on 1 or 2 players just to try and put a little bit of impetus into the game. But Aberdeen were going along so well, they looked comfortable. St Mirren had some set plays that were poor, but Aberdeen defended stoutly. There was no real pressure on them. I thought they'll just see the game out to half-time, get them 1-0 up, and then maybe just adjust a couple of things in the second half. But now then, it's a different picture. I expect St Mirren to come out second half and get right after them. That goal will certainly have given them a lift. Aberdeen can't feel sorry for themselves. They've done well enough so far in the game. They've got Miofsky as well. If it stays like this, they can bring him on. He can, bring a difference and do something a little bit different. But it's not a challenge. I said that Jimmy Talleen will learn about his players. He'll learn about them now in the second half. Can they really take the game to St Mirren? Can they go after it and try and get that next goal that will possibly go and get them 3 points? So I think it's poised nicely.
It certainly is. In the SWPL, the earlier matches, Montrose 0, Glasgow City 7, Partick Thistle 1, Hibernian 2, Spartans 1, Motherwell 5. In the game that kicked off at 3, just started the second half there, it's Queen's Park 1, Hearts 4. And getting underway shortly, Aberdeen against Rangers. And of course Celtic kicking off with a 9-0 win against Dundee United yesterday. Highlights from those matches on the SWP highlights programme, SWPL highlights programme tomorrow night at 7 on the BBC Scotland channel. You've got all the Premiership highlights on Sports Scene tonight at 7:15 again, BBC Scotland. And do listen out in the week ahead for plenty coverage as ever of Scottish football. You've got the Scottish Football Daily podcast Monday to Friday. Wherever you pick up your podcast, why don't you subscribe and make sure you don't miss a single episode. And then we've got live action on Sports on Tuesday and Thursday, European games, Rangers against Dynamo Kyiv, and on Thursday, Tromsø Kilmarnock, Brandbergen against St Mirren. And that Rangers Cup tie is also live on the telly, BBC Scotland channel on Tuesday night. Already this afternoon, a 2-0 win for Celtic, and Nicholas Kuhn and Callum McGregor with goals in the opening 20 minutes, which were enough to secure all 3 points. So 2 wins out of 2 for Celtic, both Aberdeen and St Mirren eyeing that up as well. It's finally poised at the interval. Papagay putting Aberdeen in front, Toyose Olusanya with a leveller. It is Aberdeen 1, St Mirren 1, and with the players coming back out, we can return to our commentary team of Willie Miller and Paul Mitchell.
Thank you, Richard. You have to go back to season 21-22 for the last time Aberdeen won their opening 2 games. That was against Dundee United and Livingston. It took to the end of September last year to win 2 matches in the Scottish Premiership. For St Mirren, well, their first Scottish Premiership loss last season came on the 8th of October at Ibrox. They started so well, won their opening 2 Scottish Premiership games, went unbeaten in the first 7, taking 15 points. Well, at the moment, both teams who won on opening day 3-0, won initially, and then of course Aberdeen winning 2-1. That victory coming against Hibs, just getting confirmation of a change coming through. Just looking at this Aberdeen side, and St Mirren as well. Aberdeen all in red, St Mirren all in pale blue. Grant Irvine is the referee. Points to St Mirren and tells them you can get us underway at the start of the second half. So Iduwo is off, and on comes Roisin Smith, the young Irishman. The change made, and Iduwo didn't have his best 45 minutes, so Smith, who has been starting, is on. Got a goal against Hibs as well, and he's a man on form. Let's see if he does make a difference. Jakubiti has the ball at the edge of his own area, plays it back all the way through to his goalkeeper. His goalkeeper then plays it out wide onto Tanzer. The ball taking a little bit of a bounce across the surface. You see some water. That particular area was quite heavily watered during half time. One apiece here. Smith gets his first chance, taken out by Devlin. The ball that he played forward, Olusanya wasn't going to get, so the referee quite rightly gives the free kick. And well, there was plenty of them in the first half, Willie.
It started the same way that it finished, wasn't it? On that occasion, Devlin going into Smith. Devlin, no chance of getting to the ball, taking the player as he's played that away, and the referee has got to give a free kick. So we're hoping that the quality is going to improve in the second half. I mean, I think the players on show are better than what we have seen in the first half, and they were hoping that improvement will happen in the second.
Gogic with a free kick from the halfway line, sends it long. The header was won by Rennie, but he heads it behind and out of play. Aberdeen meet off in goal. The back four: Devlin, Rubezic, Malloy and Mackenzie. Shinnie Nielsen sitting with Morris, Gay, McGrath Sockler leading the line. Wojciech Majowski was the only change, and he is on the bench at the moment for St Mirren. Hilary Balcombe in goal. It's the back three of Fraser, Gogic, Yankovic, Rooney and Tanser wide. Udinian, Boyd, Munns, and now Smith, Olasanya and Scott, the two players further forward. Not been overly effective, but Olasanya did enough at the tail of the half to bully his way through and net from close range to make it one apiece. St Mirren coming down the left-hand side. Yankovic throws the ball in, but it's knocked out of play immediately by Smith. And it's going to be a throw into Aberdeen. Nicky Devlin coming in to take it. In his second season with Aberdeen, 4 goals. His first 53 games. It was a successful opening season at Aberdeen for Nicky Devlin. Graham Shinney's been around a bit longer, and he's on the deck. He's been on the deck quite a few times today. It's another free kick, and Aberdeen will get a chance to clear their lines. Well, here, just having a little look and chatting away with his assistants. I think he would be very unhappy at the manner of the goal, because Aberdeen really should be going into talk to team one up at the break.
I mean, absolutely. You know, it's just sensible football that you know, Rubizic should just clear his line. They should be stronger defensively. In fact, all 3 that were involved, and it should have done better in my book. But at that stage of the game, just you know, playing the time added on, you know, in the first 45 minutes, you just don't take any chances.
Shinney up near the edge of the area onto McGrath. McGrath's got McKenzie on the overlap. Left-hand side of the area, steps in, low drive, turn behind. Alex Gogic. Well, he's hurt himself. That ball was really hit hard, and you could see him trying to shuffle his feet to make sure he could turn it behind, but he's down. He's twisted as he's going down. He's slowly getting back up. He is one of the toughest players in Scottish football, and Alex Gogic gets up, grimaces, but he has conceded the corner.
Yeah, he just had to deal with it, didn't he? You know, I don't know if it's come off his toe perhaps and twisted his ankle or his knee, but he's okay. He's up there. McKenzie doing exactly the right thing, just driving it towards goal and asking the question of the St Mirren defence.
McGrath with the corner from the left-hand side. Doesn't beat Rooney, heads it away. Morris at the edge of the area. Where's 20? Gathers, tries to step it away, but Olasanya also 20, but the Sky Blue won the ball, but he can't get past Nielsen. He tries to step back in to win it against Nielsen. Breaks to Morris, outside to Papagui. He goes down under the challenge of Oisin Smith, and the referee decides it is a free kick. Wasn't particularly clear with the signal. Papagui manages to get himself back out from the LED boards that run round Pittodrie, and Jamie McGrath will get the chance to play in a ball that we saw Caelan Boyd Munns several opportunities in the first half from a similar position and created nothing.
Yeah, you know, an opportunity for Aberdeen on this occasion, and Jamie McGrath normally you know, pretty accurate with the delivery.
Shuffles up, hits it right-footed, comes through just almost off key. There was a shout for handball. The goalkeeper manages to keep the ball in. Sockler was saying there was a arm used, but it didn't look like it. Certainly not intentional, or out with the shape of the body, or however you want to describe it these days, as the ball gets played down onto Gay, and Gay just sees the ball hit off him and go out of play. I think he was a step ahead of what he wanted to do and just forgot to control the ball.
Yeah, he's trying to do it all in the one motion, you know, take the ball in but turn with it with outside his right foot, and again another heavy touch, and it goes out for the throw. And listen, we shouldn't be surprised, because the game has been full of that sort of a situation. Has it really improved early in the second half? But we're still hopeful.
Always hopeful as the ball gets played through. Olasanya tries to chase down Rubizic. Rubizic back to his goalkeeper. Mitov very calmly tries to find it to McKenzie, but he's planted the ball at the feet. Sean Rooney on the angle, 20 yards out on the right hand side, and he fires the ball into the stand behind the goal, but again an unforced error from Aberdeen.
Well, it was temptation for Rooney. Maybe the better decision would have been to take a little touch on it, but you can't blame him for having the strike. Mitov, you know, just delivering the pass right in front of him.
Brilliant from Devlin, drives his way through. Sockler, he's not going to be able to keep that ball in. He just had too much on the ball, Devlin, but he was under such pressure from 2 defenders. Played the ball through, Sockler ran through, couldn't hold it on, and it goes behind. It remains 1-1. I'll tell you what, see if Sean Rooney scores from there.
Yeah.
If I'm him, I'm walking off. I'm never playing again, because if he'd scored from there, he'd never do anything better.
No, but you can understand why he's taking it on, can't you? You know, when you're presented with an opportunity like that from the Aberdeen goalkeeper and his strike. It was nowhere near target, right enough, but you're right. it would have been a sensational goal if it had finished up in the back of the net. And Aberdeen, you know, very quickly on the break there. Sockler again with a heavy touch. It was a decent pass through, I felt, from Devlin, who did well to actually manage to win the ball. But you know, another heavy touch. It's early in the season, of course. You've got to put that down as perhaps a reason that things are so scrappy. But you know, I think Majowski's onto that and shooting at goal. But Sockler just, you know, it was a good opportunity as well down the right-hand side, and it ends up a goal kick when it should have ended up with the goalkeeper being tested.
Well, come as absolutely no surprise. The noise in the background was for a free kick that was awarded. Devlin then tried to play it quickly. He got away from Smith and was fouled. When he'd launched the free kick forward, the referee said it was from the wrong place, and that was actually to Aberdeen's advantage because it was nowhere near where it was intended to be. Rubezic will gather. Aberdeen St Mirren, one apiece. Both sides have now scored in 7 of the last 11 meetings between each other. We've had goals now in the last 8. One apiece here, with goals in the first half. Papagate, who scored on it, bundling the ball over the line, plays the ball into Shinnie after an error from the goalkeeper, and Olasanya from close range at the tail of the half. Graham Shinnie gets the ball back again from Nielsen. Shinnie plays it out wide onto Devlin. Devlin goes short onto Morris. Back onto Shinnie again. Shinnie, it's a lovely curling ball, but it's just too far. Sockler had made the run more to the near post than the far post. The ball aimed more at the far post. Goes behind, it's a goal kick.
Yeah, the idea was right from the Aberdeen skipper. You know, he's got it on his left foot there. He's trying to curl it towards the back post. Sockler, I think, maybe away a little bit too early. Papagate perhaps should have maybe been more anxious to try to get something on it. At the end of the day, it's overhit again, and from a promising situation, it goes out for a goal kick.
Morris picks up from the goal kick onto Gay. Gay has it, plays it out wide onto Sockler. Sockler inside the box, cuts it back onto Morris. Morris plays it to the far side to McGrath! Jamie McGrath drills the ball home from the left-hand side, right across the goalkeeper, into the corner of the net. Aberdeen 2, St Mirren 1, Jamie McGrath.
That's a brilliant finish, isn't it, from the Aberdeen midfielder? Not an easy one to take, as the ball came from the right to the left. I think it was Papagate that actually mishit it, and it fell to Jamie McGrath. Was in there as well, maybe about hip height, and he had to take it very, very quickly, make his mind up, and be accurate with it as well. Put it right across the face of the goal and into the back of the net. A quite sensational finish from McGrath. That is a quality that we've been looking for. A right-footed strike into the far corner, giving the goalkeeper no chance.
Well, Aberdeen are ahead. Jamie McGrath is the goal scorer. It's his third of the season. It's his second in 2 Scottish Premiership matches, and he finished with such style. And the Red Shed are back in voice, and it's once more St Mirren are going to have to brace themselves and come from behind. There's been a couple of 2-each meetings between these sides in recent years. The first meeting last term ended 2 apiece. Kilty and Grieve were on the score sheet for St Mirren. Difference there is they did lead it 1 point by 2 goals to 1. Hayes and Majowski from the penalty spot made it 2 apiece. But here, Aberdeen 2, St Mirren 1. Jamie McGrath, really good finish. And with Willie, I'm not sure the pass was meant to go quite where it did, but he dispatched it so beautifully. There's an argument about where the free kick should be taken. Pittodrie, one of these great old football grounds, and still has the pillars that we've got to try and peer around. And I can tell you it's going to be taken by St Mirren and played in to Fraser from Adeniran. Into the area it goes. Jakovidi wins the header. Rubezic can't get there, and James Scott was inches away from getting a touch. It's Mitov who gathers it inside his 6-yard box, bowls it out onto McGrath. McGrath forward onto Sockler. Sockler can't get there. Smith picks up for St Mirren to Tanzer on the halfway line. Good tempo to the game. It's not always been the finest of football, but they are having a real go at each other as Papagate makes the challenge and knocks the ball out of play.
A big chance over there, you know, Jakoviti getting up above the Aberdeen defence, and you know, Scott isn't too far away from it. He's read the situation. He's had a go at it as Jakoviti's header came to him, but just couldn't make that contact that was so vital.
2-1 here to Aberdeen, 2-0 to St Johnstone at Rugby Park. The 3 points that would be for Craig Levine's men. Struggled away from home last term, but they are leading at the moment. St Mirren didn't have the best of travels last term either. The home form more impressive, as to be fair is usually the case, but they did win on this ground and looking to do so again, but they trailed by 2-1. Aberdeen through Shinnie, gathered from the long ball from the goalkeeper, onto Gavin Malloy. Malloy out wide, inside his own half is Jack McKenzie. McKenzie sends it long, Gogic with a header away. Rooney picks up, plays it first time. Denarant comes forward, actually stepped over the ball, laid it back for Rooney. Didn't mean to, but that's where it went. Now played it out wide. There's the little step over, the chance, and the ball comes in. Goalkeeper drops it and then decides to take it at the second attempt. Well, again, Scott just drifting out wide to that right-hand side to pick up the ball, and you don't want your goalkeeper to deal with it pretty comfortably.
Yeah, he's got to be more confident in taking that ball meet off. I mean, I think it was a relatively easy one to take. You know, maybe a little bit too high. He should have used his feet perhaps to move and get himself in a better position. But, you know, nothing came of it, thankfully, from an Aberdeen point of view. But I think when you're watching your goalkeeper drop one like that, then it gives you a little bit of nerves if you're a central defender. In fact, if you're any Aberdeen player. So, you know, I think more confidence, more concentration required.
St Mirren behind. They were behind against Brann on Thursday for the first time this season. Aberdeen themselves have trailed only once this term. That was to Ben Wilson and Bairdriones before coming back to win that one. Aberdeen now have 11 different scorers this season already. This is game 6. They had 16 scorers last term, so they're sharing the goals around early. Yakavidi from inside his own half sends it long on the angle. McKenzie wasn't sure what was happening down behind him. He eventually wins the ball ahead of Rooney, turns, spins, sends it down the line, just past the St Mirren fans. And Fraser has to go back inside his own half to gather. Inside onto Alex Gogic. Gogic gathers onto Yakavidi. Yakavidi up to the halfway line. Tanzer, a little touch inside. Voigtmans gets the ball through. Smith, I thought if he'd made the little run, that might have snuck through, but Mitov was out very quickly to the edge of his box. Nielsen, here's the shout of man on, plays it on to Papagay. Gay can't hold on, and Nielsen gets a second chance, floats it, doesn't get it past Tanzer, and Tanzer heads it out of play. And Graham Shinnie comes across, gets the ball in onto Shaden Morris. 40th appearance for the Dons. Ball inside onto Nielsen. Nielsen plays it out wide onto McKenzie. Aberdeen starting to purr a little here. Back onto Gay. He looks ahead and plays the ball across onto Shinnie. Shinnie with Shaden Morris outside him, tries to take on Smith, drops it off to Nielsen. Nielsen looks to play it out wide. It was a great little effort, and the ball falls eventually to McKenzie, but took a little knock in the air that allowed Denarant to come out and gather. Denarant just knocks the ball off McKenzie. It goes out of play. It's a throw in to St Mirren on that far side. Nearly an hour played at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 2, St Mirren 1. Here are the thoughts of Willie Miller.
Yeah, Nielsen trying a little dink pass for McKenzie. I think McKenzie's improved vastly as a player last season and coming into this season as well. I would say that on that occasion he didn't do himself any justice trying to get the free kick when, you know, patently obvious there wasn't any contact whatsoever. A little bit better the passing in the second half, so, you know, we're hoping that that's going to continue.
Tanzer with a pass out wide onto Rooney. Rooney coming down the right hand side inside his opponent's half. Voigtmans flicks it back to Fraser. Centre circle is Alex Gogic. Gogic plays it across. St Mirren looking to get on level terms here. Ball played out wide onto Tanzer. Tanzer on the left on Lasagna. Aberdeen left him alone for a moment. Played out wide onto Smith. Smith has got Tanzer down the side, but he'll play the ball back to the halfway line. Yakavidi plays it back to him. Smith looks like he's got very strong upper body strength. Plays it to Gogic. Lasagna. Lasagna got caught by Rubezic, and I mean that in a positive way from Aberdeen. He got caught at the right time to take the ball off him, and then the ball gets played forward. He looks for it. Gogic never took his eye off the ball. Wins the header. Back onto Smith. Smith will play it out wide onto Marcus Fraser. Fraser will gather. Back inside. Aberdeen not pursuing the back three. Quite happy with the way things stand. Tanzer plays it back onto Yakavidi once more.
Yeah, it's quite early, isn't it? You know, to go into that defensive formation. But I think that is the tactic that the manager's asked them to do. It's a good shape. It's allowing the three central defenders of St Mirren plenty of possession, but they're not doing anything with it whatsoever. And I'm sure that when Aberdeen do win the ball back, it'll be the quick counter that Jimmy Tillane will be looking for.
And again, Malcolm gets the ball played back to him, tries to make something happen. He'd seen enough passing in front of him, but he overhits it. Goes out of play on that far side. Scoreboards on that far side. Aberdeen 2, St Mirren 1. As the ball is thrown in, Mackenzie tries to put the ball back to his goalkeeper. He does so easily, but again, it's a little bit short from the goalkeeper. Nielsen flicked it, but he got pushed over. Adeniran just came in and dropped the shoulder on Nielsen. Didn't need to do that. Aberdeen were in a little bit of trouble inside, well, the last 20 yards of the field, but free kick.
Yeah, I mean, he had one of them in the first half as well. Mitov, where he's trying to find Nielsen, and Nielsen is marked by Adeniran and tightly marked as well. So yeah, the free kick was given away, thankfully, from Mitov's point of view, but at the same time, I think it's that straight pass to a midfield player that's already marked. You know, surely the manager doesn't want him to do that. That is just asking for trouble.
I'm not sure the player's a big fan of it either. I mean, I don't know what he's expecting him to do. He's got his back to goal. The player's got all the momentum coming forward. Mitov just needs to be a little bit smarter. Former Cambridge goalkeeper, was there for 6 seasons, spent a season at St Johnstone last term. There's going to be changes coming. Scott Tanser is going to come off, and Jaden Brown is going to come on. So there's the first change. Kilmarnock. There's the other change that's going to be made. 11 goals last term, top scorer for St Mirren, and it's James Scott who will come off. So those changes made. 63 minutes played. Then at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 2. Medina Sidibert with 2 goals, one after 3 minutes, the second after 33. Joe Wright shown a red card at 60 minutes for 2 bookable offences earlier on today. Hibs 0, Celtic 2. All the action as you would expect on the home of Scottish football, BBC Radio Scotland. Long ball from the goalkeeper, flicked on immediately by Mandron, but Aberdeen gather. It's picked up by Shinnie. Boyd Munce will gather. Smith plays it back out wide, looking for Mikael Mandron, but it's going to be Mackenzie from the edge of his own area. Launches it long. Gogic goes back, heads it away, but straight onto Jamie McGrath. McGrath's goal is the difference so far. Plays it out wide. Hamagay out wide, comes inside the area now. Twists and turns, tries to shot, was never on. Fraser was right beside him, and Aberdeen will lose out. And Smith will bring the ball away. Morris tries to go in to make the tackle. Comes eventually to Brown. Brown plays the ball away. Well, it was Graham Shinnie coming through at the same time. And as the ball met and was played away, Shinnie's boot came in, tried to clear. Shinnie ends up on the ground. No suspicion of foul play. Doesn't make it any less sore for Graham Shinnie.
You know, that's a strange one. You know, initially I thought the free kick would have went the other way because Graham Shinnie's coming in. He's not in control of the situation, and actually the ball goes the way of the St Mirren player. You know, in terms of he wins the ball, he plays it forward, and then Shinnie comes through, but the referee decides to give it the other way. So a little bit surprised with that decision.
I'm puzzled by that as well. Genuinely, I thought it would just be the throw. I thought both players were making the attempt for the ball. The free kick is played through. Well, we've got free kickitis is catching around Pittodrie today, the inability to take a free kick well. And it is easy, and I know people will be listening and thinking we're being harsh. We're not being harsh. We expect much of these players, and really the set play's not good enough.
Yeah, unfortunately that's been the case. You know, getting the opportunity to put the opposition under pressure, and it's been from both teams as well that the delivery from set plays for the majority of the deliveries has not been good enough.
He picks up. Well, he had Shaden Morris all alone. Ball played forward, bounces back to Nielsen. Nielsen now finds Morris. Morris up against Jaden Brown. It's a lovely little ball in. Marcus Fraser played it away. No forward gamble. Back onto Shinnie. He plays it in. Yakaviri. He hooks it away. Outside the box it goes. Olasanya watches it, but it bounced to Devlin. Devlin heads the ball forward. Yakaviri tries to get in there, stretches the head forward, drops it down onto Shinnie. Shinnie is going to try and close down Brown. Brown hacks the ball away. This is all a bit frantic. Boyd Munce down the side. Olasanya, Rubizic. Again, no reason to make the challenge. Sends Olasanya flying. Olasanya exaggerated it slightly, to be fair. There's another change coming. It's going to come for Aberdeen. And Bizowan looks like he's going to come on. And Papagate is going to be replaced as well. Peter Ambrose is getting ready to come on as well. So there's the changes being made. The big Senegalese is applauded off the field, netting for the first time for his club. Peter Ambrose ambles onto the field.
Yeah, a bit of freshness being brought on by Jimmy Tillene, and I think it's probably required as well. You know, Papagay doing well, getting his goal, so he'll be happy. And Shayden Morris has drifted out of the game. Prominent in the first half, but drifted out second.
Aberdeen trying to defend up at the edge of their area. There's a one trying to bring the ball away. Turns, plays it back onto McKenzie outside his area, left side. Forward up to the halfway line. Alex Gogic wins the header, but he presents it onto Stuart Nielsen, the Norwegian former under 23 international. Plays it out wide. Cinti Bizawan moving forward now down that left hand side, up against Fraser. Steps inside, right footed in. Gogic hits the ball away as far as Shinnie in the midfield. Picks up, plays it down to Devlin. Devlin though tried to play it to McGrath, but didn't have enough on it. Shinnie recovers as St Mirren tried to play away, but it's been given away. Here's Mandron, tries to get it through to Olasanya. Olasanya tries to get the other side of Rubezic, and Rubezic heard the shout of his goalkeeper that time and plonked the ball into the stand across to the left hand side, making absolutely sure.
Yeah, and I think that's the right decision from the Aberdeen central defender. Rubezic, don't take any chances. You know, the defence was all over the place. It was a kind of a swift break as well. Olasanya's pace would worry him too, so you know, just make sure you do your job properly, and that's the defensive side of the game, and just clear your lines and, you know, get back, and then you can defend the throw in.
2-0 to St Johnstone at Kilmarnock here in our commentary match. Aberdeen 2, St Mirren 1. Aberdeen failed to beat St Mirren last season. That was the first time since 2011-12 when they registered no wins against the Paisley club, and they've been in the same division together. Aberdeen have won only one of the last 6 against St Mirren, who used to travel here in dread rather than anticipation. 15 matches at Pittodrie without a win. Won 2 of the last 3. Are behind now. Brown, the pass a little short. Devlin goes in and wins it. Devlin plays it out wide to McGrath. Brown recovers, gets the touch on the ball, which he refuses to go out of play. So he gets up and gathers, plays a horrible ball forward to Smith. Easily won by Shinnie. It's now with Nielsen. Nielsen from McGrath. Shinnie plays the ball through. Here's Ambrose. Gogic comes across, blocks the shot. The ball goes behind. Corner kick to Aberdeen.
Yeah, it's good defending though from Alex Gogic again. You know, spotting the danger. Nice little intricate passage of play from Aberdeen, and Ambrose popping up in the right hand side. There's a swing at it with his right foot, but Gogic knows what he's trying to do. Put it across the face of his goal, and he gets that block in. Gives away the corner though.
What a pick-up from Hibs he has been, Alex Gogic. In his 3rd appearance now for St Mirren. Still can't quite understand why Hibs let him go. As the ball gets played in from the corner, it's Gogic who got the header away. Out wide onto Nielsen. Smith is with him. It's on the left-hand side. Pulled back onto Shinnie. Shinnie plays it back out wide to Nielsen. Back onto Shinnie. Shinnie looking to get the ball across. Olasanya bowled him over. 1 or 2 shouts. That came from the crowd. Not really the players, apart from Graham Shinnie himself, and it's usually the player that goes down that feels the most aggrieved.
Yeah, I think Olasanya doing well to get himself back. The referee's right in the spot. Didn't have a particularly great view of it from here. Shinnie not happy with the challenge that went in. But I kind of go with there and the side of the referee in that case, and I thought he got it right.
It's Marcus Fraser playing the ball out wide. Nielsen slips down, and Alex Gogic is down. And he took a sore one in the first half. He's going to require some attention, I think. St Mirren may have to get Richard Taylor stretched out here. In fact, they're going to do more than that. He's taken off the bib, and he is going to come on. Alex Gogic is not a player you want to be without. Just talked about him and, you know, what he's brought to St Mirren over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, he's had a huge influence in the club. You know, always one that you can rely on and trust. I would suggest. I think it might have been the one that he tried to block in the first half. It's maybe twisted his ankle or twisted his knee, but he seems in a bit of discomfort. But he's wanting to stay on. he's not keen to come off. Even although Richard Taylor is waiting to go on, the manager is not made his mind up fully yet. But I think Gogic is just going to continue as Stephen Robinson has a word with his physio.
Yeah, he's just going to check and see what's happening. He's going to explain where the issue is. Gogic clearly wants to continue, but sometimes you've got to meet, it's the manager, if he wants to make the call, then you've got to adhere to the number. And he's now having a little chat with the backroom staff. The ball is in play, Aberdeen leading by 2-1. As the ball just overhit, Balcom will come and gather. Elsewhere, Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 2. Adam Asiba has got 2 goals. How's the game going, Keradine Idsan?
It's a lot quieter in the second half than it was in the first. St Johnstone pretty much happy to sit back and sit on their 2-0 lead. Remember, they do have a man advantage as well. Kelly have been tidy without threatening too much, although that said, they've just rasped a shot past the left-hand post, much to the appreciation of the crowd here, who sense maybe a comeback, but there's 20 minutes to go. Their team's only got 10 men, and they need a goal. Kelly 0, St Johnstone 2.
Thanks, Keradine. Ball knocked out of play on that far side. St Johnstone takes 7 points in the last 7 games, enough to keep them up last season. Levine looking to improve, and certainly an away win would be rather tasty for them. Kilmarnock still without a win this season, will go on European duty, as will St Mirren. You can hear it on the home of Scottish football, BBC Radio Scotland, on Thursday. Now here's Rooney getting things moving for the men in Sky Blue. Rooney tried to take on Nielsen, gets away from into the area, and then good covering and away from Gavin Malloy. Now back inside it comes. Gillian Boyd-Munce tries the shot, plenty of power in it, and the goalkeeper had his body behind it and drops down onto it to make the save. Certainly got the power, needed just to be a little bit harder hit to beat Mito from there.
Yeah, and the goalkeeper been able to see it all the way as well. You know, it didn't come through any defenders or any attackers, but good strike, left foot from Boyd-Munce, and he's aimed it towards that top corner, but you're right, just maybe not enough power on it, and the goalkeeper seen it all the way, and at the end of the day, quite an easy take for Mito.
Still looking for his first goal in the Scottish Premiership, scored last season against Motherwell in the League Cup. This appearance number 49 today. Aberdeen have a man down. It's Jack McKenzie at the moment, so a little bit of treatment coming for him. 1 or 2 players coming to the near side to take on some power drinks and water. It is warm out there. It's been a beautiful day in Aberdeen. Stephen Craigan is watching the game. Stephen, has it been a better second half for you?
Yeah, I think it has. I think it's been more fluency to the game. It hasn't been as stop-start as what the first half was. Aberdeen have clearly been the better side. They look the more threatening. St Mirren have lacked a little bit of punch. So you probably think it's all about Aberdeen managing the game from here on in. Don't take any risks. Don't give the St Mirren any encouragement, and they'll get a huge 3 points.
Like Stephen Toyosio, Lasagna comes off. Scored his 10th goal for St Mirren today, but he'll give way to Jonah Younga. He's got 2 goals against Aberdeen in his career. In fact, the last goal he scored was against Aberdeen on the 30th of December 2023. And the Kenyan international is introduced. Elvis has entered the building as well. Elvis Wamono is getting ready to come on. And it is Sean Rooney who is going to go off, and you can hear the boos ringing around. Pittodrie, the most popular person, he was having a little go at Jamie McGrath during the game, but he gets the handshakes from the backroom staff. And Elvis enters the arena.
I think it's okay, you know, when you're playing away from home and you go off the boos. It's when you're playing at home and you go off, then you're the home side player. But I think Rooney's been competitive throughout the game. Maybe just his legs beginning to go a little bit.
I think there's only one thing worse, Willie, and that's when you get booed when they read the team sheet out before the game starts. There's been 1 or 2 players like that over the years as Fraser gets the ball away. Aberdeen leading by 2-1. St Mirren try and find a way back into this one. Shinnie on the halfway line, lovely little touch, dinks the ball to himself, fooled the defender, played it out wide onto McGrath, who's popped up on this right hand side. Shinnie opens up. There's the opportunity for McKenzie, who's okay again. There's a one, comes short, and McKenzie doesn't spot him just yet. Plays it back onto Nielsen. Nielsen plays it through. There's a one, goes down, gets himself back up, ball at feet. 35 yards from goal. Now the ball chipped down that left side. Ramono gets the touch to knock it out of play. Tried to play it off McKenzie, didn't do so. 14 minutes to play. 2-1 to the home team. Aberdeen leading. And Aberdeen looking to win back-to-back matches to start the season for the first time since 21-22. see if they can do that. St Mirren off to the ideal start, 3-0 against Hibs last week. 2-1 down here at Pittodrie. The throw-in is taken. Mackenzie drives to the byline, pulls it back. Sockler deflected. Over the top it goes. That was on target. It takes a great little touch though. It was Marcus Fraser who got in, stuck his foot out, deflected it, corner to Aberdeen.
It's good positioning from Sockler, you know, and a really positive run from Jack Mackenzie down the left-hand side and getting his head up as well. And as the striker has made the run back the park, he's picked him out, and you know he's swung the boot at that. It's taken a deflection. It was definitely on target. So a decent effort from Sockler on that occasion, and good work from Jack Mackenzie.
There's McGrath with a corner, floated in. Gogic inevitably gets the header away, out to Shinnie at the edge of the D. Shinnie to Nielsen. Nielsen's going to hook it back out wide to McGrath, who took the corner. Comes down to him, he's got the opportunity. Bizawan tries to get the ball in, it's high, it's up. Oh, that looked like an arm coming out there. With Jaden Brown. Just, I think it was the way, the angle we're looking at it, no player complained, but you could just tell for a moment he was concerned. There is a penalty check at Kilmarnock. Let's get the details of how that's come about from Kennedy Nidsan.
Could Kilmarnock have a late lifeline? There's a VAR check for a potential penalty. It was a foul by Andre Raymond on Danny Armstrong. Initially the ref gave a yellow card for diving. Obviously VAR has to come and have a look, and now we're just waiting to see what Chris Graham is going to do. He's taking his time about it, and he's summoning, is he summoning him back? Not entirely sure what's happening here.
Thanks, Kerry. Let's
if I
speak
get more information, Paul, I'll let you know. Sorry to dive into your live commentary there. So it's slightly curious here. It doesn't look like the penalty's been awarded, but I'll get back to you.
Thanks, Kerry. It did sound curious. We'll get Stephen Gregan's take in a moment, because St Mirren have come forward. They've won a throw from a dangerous attacking position, and now the throw comes in. Omono gets the ball in, and then around. Pulled it back, it's now hooked into the area. Mandron's fighting for it, breaks down to Iacovitti at the edge of the area. He's still trying to battle away, but Shinnie gets his body in the way. Peter Ambrose is, no, I thought he was taken down. Referee didn't agree. Smith on the tackle. Gogic will play the ball back inside onto Fraser. Time ticking away here, 11 minutes to play. The ball is out of play. Stephen Cragen, what did you make of the penalty claim down at Rugby Park?
It is actually a foul, however, it's just outside the box. But because the referee has give a foul to St Johnstone because he thought Danny Armstrong dived, he can't go back and give the penalty because it's actually a free kick outside the box. So St Johnstone will stay with the free kick as it was, and play will resume. That's why there's no penalty kick, because it wasn't inside the box.
Thank you, Stephen. So all the action, Kelly, St Johnstone, you see the highlights tonight on Sports, and you see the highlights from this one as well, as Iacovitti is getting involved. The referee comes across and books Nicky Devlin for time wasting. McGrath going down under the challenge of Iacovitti. Graham Shinnie is now wandering over to the referee to say what on earth is going on, but Nicky Devlin is booked for taking too long to throw the ball in. Now it's only the captain that's allowed to speak to the referee. That's what's happening here. Graham Shinnie is not happy with the outcome. Aberdeen have earned themselves a yellow card, the second in the match. As Brown knocks the ball out of play. Willie Miller, what do you make of it?
It's a bit harsh. It looks like Nicky Devlin is complaining about the foul on McGrath by Iacovitti, and that's what he's complaining about to the referee. So it might be time wasting, it might not be. It might be that he's complained to the referee and he's not allowed to do that, and he's got the yellow card.
That's a good point. Devlin will just have to settle for another throw. Aberdeen have come forward. Ball comes back to him. Devlin is in there, trying to twist away from Gogic. He goes down. Smith is in there. The ball gets pulled back though onto Shinnie. It's a great ball in, chance, goal! Bizawan with a header of the back post, and Aberdeen will take all 3 points. Vincente Bizawan read it perfectly. The cross from Shinnie, the diving header was low into the net. It's a terrific finish. Aberdeen 3, St Mirren 1.
It's a magnificent crossfield pass, isn't it, from Graham Shinnie. You know, playing the real captain role, gets onto the left peg, puts it in with a bit of curl towards the back post. Bumono is totally unaware of Bizawan, who's behind him. Bizawan just sneaks in, diving header, finds the back of the net, gives Aberdeen what looks like the 3 points this afternoon, and Shinnie now celebrating with the fans in the red shed.
It's a terrific ball across from Graham Shinnie. Vizawan ran it all the way, got the header away. Malcolm could do absolutely nothing about it, and Aberdeen have pushed their way forward. And they've got themselves 2 goals to the goods. 8 minutes to play. There is a penalty now at Rugby Park. Kennedy in the details.
And it's up at the other end. St Johnstone have a penalty after some lovely dancing footwork from Benjamin Kimpioka. Meant he was brought down inside the area, and it is going to be the Swede who's going to take this. Kilmarnock thought they might have had a penalty a few seconds ago. There was a yellow card shown to Danny Armstrong for diving. We heard there from Stephen Craig that he thinks it was maybe a free kick outside the area, so I don't know if that yellow card was rescinded or not. I don't think it was. In any case, that penalty wasn't given because we think it was a foul outside the area. This time there was no doubt that Kimpioka was taken down in the middle of the penalty area, so he's just waiting to take the penalty kick because the goalkeeper Robin McCrory is not getting back to his line. It's going to be Kimpioka, so no chance for the hat-trick at the moment for Sidibe. But with 10 minutes to go, Saints lead 2-0. They have a man advantage, they have a penalty kick, and about to take it is Kimpioka, who won it once. The referee, Chris Graham, is happy that everyone's back outside the area. This is taking an eternity. Sorry about this, but now the whistle. So, up steps Kimpioka, right-footed, scores a beautiful penalty into the bottom left-hand corner, takes off his jersey, so he's got a yellow card coming. The Saints fans away to my left cannot believe this scoreline at Rugby Park, which reads Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 3.
I doubt anybody had that scoreline on their coupon or on any betting slip. What a scoreline. Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 3. You're missing none of the action here. Aberdeen have a man down on that far side, and play has been halted.
Yeah, it's Nielsen. He's getting, quite lengthy attention. Looked like a head knock. Didn't see the incident. Don't know if it was off the ball or accidental. But he's been down for quite some time, and the physio has been on, and it's definitely been some kind of a head knock he's taken, and you just want to make sure that the player's okay.
So it remains here, Aberdeen 3, St Mirren 1, but Stephen Craig, what an afternoon at Rugby Park. Was it a stick-on penalty for you?
Yeah, I think this one's a bit more clear-cut. It was Kimpioka, lovely dancing run into the box. He actually wrong foots Lewis Mayo, who sticks out a big lazy left leg and brings him down. Clearly a penalty kick. Celebrations going on the pitch. They've worked ever so hard. They've been the better team. They deserved to win the game, probably by the 3 goals. We know Kilmarnock are down to 10 men, but what a statement this is for St Johnstone. A terrific afternoon so far.
Thanks, Stephen. We're back underway here. Nielsen is back on. 84 minutes on the clock. St Mirren trailing by 2 goals. Aberdeen leading by 3 goals to 1. Echeverry plays the ball on the inside. Aberdeen now have got 12 different goal scorers this season. This is game 6. The ball gets played down the side. Well, it looked like Brown might have fouled, but Aberdeen have got the ball. And then, well, he's definitely fouled the second time. McGrath goes down. St Mirren just looking a little bit ragged at the moment. Perhaps really you wouldn't understand if their thoughts started to drift towards Bran and the European tie. This game looks like it's slightly beyond them.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's been a good performance from Aberdeen, generally the better side. It hasn't been a top quality game by any means, but we've had 4 goals, so I think from that point of view the fans will be happy, and obviously the home fans will be delighted. And a bit of quality as well, the McGrath goal, and certainly the Graham Shinney cross for the Bishawin header as well. So I think the second half's been much better than the first.
Here's Peter Ambrose tries to get past Alex Gogic, the Cypriot, unmoved as he knocks the ball away and out of play from the Nigerian. And Aberdeen will take the throw, which they're in no great hurry to take. Nicky Devlin will remove 1 ball from the field of play because he's got another one in his hands. Well, certainly the scoreline of the weekend is Killy 0, St Johnstone 3. Few saw that coming. And Killy and St Mirren will be travelling to European ties with disappointment, I suspect. Here comes McGrath trying to hold the ball in, does so, just knocks it off Brown. He'll take the throw. Aberdeen quite content to see it out from here, under 4 to play. And the throw will now come from Nicky Devlin. Devlin gets ready to deliver. Aberdeen in absolutely no hurry. On to McGrath, back to Devlin. Devlin floats into the air. McGrath watches as the push came in, and then the shot from Mackenzie. There was a little bit of wrestling between Gogic and Ambrose. The defender was simply stronger. It fell to Mackenzie at the edge of the area and couldn't put the shot on target.
Yeah, it's on his right side as well. He's fallen back a little bit. He's got to take it on, I would suggest, and he leans back and he puts a strike over the bar. You know, in Aberdeen, yeah, just trying to run the clock down now. They've done all the hard work. They don't need to do too much more. Just see this game out.
Fraser into the middle. Mandron gets the header, but he was like 15, 16 yards out. All he could do was loop the header up, try to get it up and into the corner, but it bounced down and up into the arms of Dimitar Mitov. And the 27-year-old bowls the ball out onto Graham Shinney. Now out wide onto Devlin. Devlin round onto McGrath. McGrath just bounced to the ground by Alex Yagaviri, who doesn't agree. McGrath spent a long time on the deck today. There's been several players that he's gone up against. He's not always been fouled, but he's certainly been sinned against on a good few occasions. He just bounces himself back up. Shinney tries to play it forward, looking for the run of Ambrose. Fraser tries to get in the way. That came off Marcus Fraser. Well, Fraser said he was bounced onto it by Ambrose. The referee's having none of it, and it is going to be a corner kick.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ambrose is close to Fraser, but I didn't see too much of a push there. I think Marcus Fraser complaining to the referee that he was pushed, and that's how it resulted in the ball going out off his knee. But I just think he didn't deal with the situation well enough. And another player being booked there, yellow card for talking to the referee.
Yeah, Selva Spamono is yellow carded. Too much speech, according to the referee. So he goes into the book under 2 minutes to play, and Jamie McGrath has the opportunity to swing this one in. Aberdeen have a 4-1 in recent times against St Mirren. It'd be a bit harsh today, you suspect, if they were to score again, but that's what they're trying to do. Nielsen plays it out wide from the corner. Sockler in there, bounces the ball off Mikael Mandron. Mandron doesn't get the clearance away. Gogic tries the overhead kick, and the ball comes off the side of his foot, goes directly out of play. That's the first thing he's really done wrong, but he was trying to be acrobatic.
Yeah, he's been steady, hasn't he, again throughout the game, a real influence in the back lot, but they have lost the 3 goals. You've got to factor that into it as well. So not great defensively overall from St Mirren, but as far as Aberdeen's concerned, spreading the goals around too, being creative, looking like taking the full 3 points here again at home, and making the 17,000 plus fans here pretty happy this afternoon.
Yeah, they've certainly tried, and the fans have appreciated that. The afternoon started with a display on the far side of the Swedish flag. And just on that, on will come not a Swede but a Finn. Richard Jensen will come on. He'll replace the Norwegian. So if I get this right, the Finnish guy is coming in for the Norwegian guy at the request of the Swedish guy. Very Scandinavian here at Pittodrie.
Yeah, Nielsen getting a round of applause for his performance this afternoon. You know, he is a very steady player. He doesn't get involved with too many long passes. Likes to keep it nice, short and sharp. Good talker on the field as well. Good organiser. And Jensen getting an opportunity to take over from him and just keep the same formation. Jensen just going into that deep line midfield slot.
4 minutes of added on time. The last time there was added on time between these two clubs, St Mirren scored twice. Bomono's coming forward, tries to send the ball in the box. It's Mackenzie who'll bring it away and send it forward. Ambrose thought he was being held up there. Comes down to Gogic. Gogic brushes away Ambrose, plays the ball back to his goalkeeper. It wasn't the best pass forward. Yagaviri had to move quickly ahead of Sockler. No Majowski for Aberdeen today. He's remained on the bench until now. This could be a swan song for Bojan Majowski. And as the ball gets played forward, Boyd Munn sends it down the side. Vudovic sends it out of play. So Bojan Majowski is coming onto the field of play. It is Esther Sockler who goes off. And to be honest, I'm not sure who the ovation's for, the man coming on or the man coming off.
I think we know who the ovation's for. And it is Majowski. And This is looking very much like, a goodbye swan song for him, isn't it? I mean, there's no reason to bring him on. What have we got left? A couple of minutes left in the game as well. First home game of the season to bring Majorca. Kind of got the look of, he's off ski.
It can be hard to say goodbye, but I think that's what he's doing. Here's Jaden Brown into the area. Devlin makes the challenge. The ball goes behind, and Devlin mobbed by his teammates for making that challenge. Remember, Aberdeen leading by 3-1. It's going to be a corner kick for St. We're deep inside stoppage time. Elsewhere, Killy 0, St Johnstone 3, and earlier on today, Hibs 0, Celtic 2. Majowski is inside the area, but it's the wrong area as far as he's concerned. He's going to have to help out defending here. As Machine Smith tries to get the corner in, plays the ball in. Mitov can't get there. It's Ambrose who heads the ball away, comes down onto Malloy. Malloy with a thump downfield. Malcolm races from his goal, gathers Majowski, goes to close him down. And the goalkeeper centred on the angle, looking for man drawn, loses out to McGrath. McGrath loses out to Boyd Muntz. Boyd Muntz is then fouled by Jensen. It is a free kick, little doubt about it. Time is running away from St Mirren, but they're still trying to find a way back into this game. Well, St Mirren top 6 in 22-23 when they finished 6th. Last season finished 5th. Aberdeen bottom 6 side, looking to get back into things. Long ball on the angle from the free kick, and again the set play not kind to St Mirren this afternoon. It drifts behind, and Dimitar Mitov, as we enter the final minute of stoppage time, will get the chance to bring this ball away. Aberdeen leading by 3-1.
And it'll be a deserved victory, I think, for the Dons. They've been the better team throughout.
Van Turven just asking Mitov to get on with it. He's going to warn the goalkeeper. You don't want to pick up another silly booking for time wasting. Patch the gloves together. Stephen Robinson, hands in pockets down pitch side. His team got back into it right on the interval, but it's been Aberdeen with 2 goals in the second half that have made the difference. No way through for Brown. Ambrose flicks it out wide onto McGrath. McGrath into the middle. Gogic was there. McGrath picks up again into Ambrose. Ambrose into the middle. Bibomono gets the ball away. Out of play on this near side. Bezawan just couldn't get in there. 4 added minutes have come and gone, and the referee decides that is it. It's all over. It's back-to-back league wins to open the season for Aberdeen for the first time since 21-22. Aberdeen took till September last season to win 2 matches in the Scottish Premiership, but August is just 11 days old, and they've done it in 2024. What a piece of half-time. It goes from McGrath and Bezawan in the second half. Saw Aberdeen through to all 3 points. It's finished at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 3, St Mirren 1.